Gaza is a losing issue for Democrats, but not for the reasons you may think. Bashing college students and protesters who are standing up for human rights, parroting AIPAC talking points, and avoiding the topic of Palestine altogether for multiple years was pretty bad, but somehow it's getting even worse. If you've been online or reading the news recently, you've probably noticed something pretty interesting. Recently, these same Democratic politicians have seemingly grown a conscience. Overnight. But I don't think we should be out in the streets celebrating just yet. We've seen statements from Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, various House and Senate Democrats, as well as the elusive Hakeem Jeffries, who's supposedly the Democratic House Minority Leader. However, a specter is haunting these statements, because none of these very smart politicians can actually pinpoint who exactly is starving Gaza. In this multi-paragraph statement from Senator Cory Booker, he doesn't mention Israel even once. Who is starving Gaza, Secretary Clinton? Is there a government that's not letting these aid trucks in? Because if there is, we should probably tell them to start letting the aid trucks in. If you read Representative Goldman's statement, it sounds like Hamas is preventing or withholding food from Gaza. Does that make sense to you? Because it doesn't to me. Democrats are just now starting to realize that Gaza is a losing issue for them, not because they have the courage to stand up against genocide, but because their half-assed and incomplete statements aren't actually moving the needle with voters. Their unwillingness to name, condemn, and actually take a stand against genocide is deepening public cynicism, eroding trust, and only further breaks apart the coalitions they need to win elections. Democrats aren't going to lose for standing up for what's right. They're going to lose because they continue to signal to their voters that they care more about polling, their consultants, and their donors than actually standing by some principles. If Democrats want Americans to see Republicans as the evil, bloodthirsty, fascist ghouls that they are, they're gonna have to do something pretty revolutionary. Take a fucking stand. The base of the Democratic Party is sick of the lies, the false equivalencies, and most importantly, the genocide. Gaza is a basic test of all of our values, and the Democrats can win by actually passing it. What we've seen from the Zohran Mamdani campaign in New York City is that voters aren't interested in punishing politicians who take a stand against genocide. I know, revolutionary. Politicians who actually take a stand and have solutions. Politicians who actually stand on principle don't just win their elections. Their victories can actually pressure more cynical politicians to do what's right. With the midterms coming up soon, we need to use our leverage as voters now. Don't just compromise for politicians whose backbones have the structural integrity of a jellyfish. Instead, use this time to pressure them to take the right positions. Speaking out against genocide was always the right thing to do. But the Democratic Party has to learn that speaking out against a country that has been intentionally starving its occupied population for longer than the past 2 years isn't just good policy. It is good politics.